Let us make this loose pen sketching and watercolors today. Pen sketches, particularly the loose approach, is often found very challenging by most of us. I think with practice we can overcome these challenges and get better. Hi friends, I am Vanidas Mangathil and let us learn watercolors together. I am using a cold pressed watercolor paper, 100% cotton, around 300 GSM, and using a waterproof ink and sailor fluid pen. Okay, so I am just making a rough sketch of it, very loose, not very precise, and I don't have any reference image in front of me. It is kind of from memory. I might have done these kind of street corners earlier, so I thought I will just make a corner of a street and then we can paint it with watercolors. Very loose and quick approach. Okay, nothing is very precise, just casual drawing. So these kind of casual drawings, okay, if you practice it, I think you will gain a lot of confidence and you can get much loose looking results. Okay, maybe I will add couple of figures here, and while making these figures I am only looking at the overall proportions and the relative sizes, etc. Okay, so not too much in detail, just the upper body, the lower body, and the overall kind of the body proportion should be right. And since we are seeing it at a ground level, the top of the head of the figures are somewhat aligned. Okay, that is the normal perspective of people. When you draw, the top of the heads are usually aligned if the view is from a ground level. If you are seeing it from a height, then the things will change. Okay, if you are not clear about the perspective of a group of people, there is a playlist in my channel where I talk about the perspective of a crowd of people. You can please refer to that and come back to this later. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. Maybe I will add a lamp post here. These are just kind of some thinking. You might have seen this kind of subject a lot in the street. I mean, it's a very common kind of a scene. Okay, the only thing is that I am not looking at a reference at this point. Okay, I think overall this looks good to me. I'm just thinking, should I make a tree here or not? Okay, just some loose scribbling of a tree, and I think, yeah, some shadow here, and I think we can close it. Now let us color it. I'm using cobalt green kind of a color for the main that awning or whatever you call it. Okay, this is very bright. Okay, so I don't want this much bright, to be frank. So I wanted to make it little darker, little sort of polluted. Okay, so I'm mixing the cobalt green with Paynes gray and making some darker tones, and let us make it a little bit more darker. These are some of the shadow areas. Okay, and this area I'm making it little darker because we might add a tree later, so that area will be in shadow, right? And it is a good idea not to keep everything very bright and neat and clean. Okay, better we can keep some area very bright and we can keep some contrast on some area to whichever you think is the focal element. We can give sharper color contrast and tonal contrast around the focal area. Okay, so don't worry about the precise colors that I'm using. I'm using a brand called Camel, which is an Indian brand, artist watercolors. You can use any decent artist quality watercolors for this. Okay, so I have mixed little bit of pale burnt sienna first, and then I have added little bit of vermilion red to that to make some tonal variations for this wall. Okay, now let us sort of merge the green color and the brown color so that we don't have very clear distinction of where one element stops, the other begins. We don't have any clear distinction. See, I want to create an illusion that everything is sort of merging. Okay, Now some sky. This looks dirty, so I'm using some cleaner blue color, cobalt blue color, and let us make it very simple sky. Okay, see this is a kind of practice. Okay, so I don't want to make it very precise. These are just some practice works, small scale works. The size of this work is maybe approximately A5, so you don't have to worry too much about precision. Okay, this is just a kind of loosening up exercise wherein we can do loose sketch practice and loose painting practice. Okay, right, now I'm thinking of making some foreign building or so I'm using little violet and some violet, some blue, some red, etc., so that we get some kind of a purplish warm, I mean it's a cool color, so but I have added little bit of burnt sienna to that, so it looks slightly warmer version of the violet blue mix. Okay, so the colors that I have used are this one violet, then burnt sienna, and blue, and little bit of red. Okay, now I am using little bit more burnt sienna and Paynes gray to make it even darker. Okay, so let us paint around the car and make some dark area. Again, we are trying to create some sort of depth, and around the car and the figure we are trying to create some sort of contrast, tonal contrast and color contrast, so that area looks more attractive, or it grabs a lot of attention. That is the main thing. So the area should grab attention, so that the area around the car and the couple of figures are felt like the focal area. Okay, yeah, this white gap, maybe I'll convert it into a figure later. I think we are pretty much done, and we can mix the ground color. For the ground, I wanted to use maybe a little bit of grayish kind of a color, but I didn't like that. Maybe I will mix burnt sienna and little bit of a purplish color, so that it looks a little warmer, it looks a little lighter in color and warmer in color. Okay, right, I think we are good here. Okay, so let us give this color, and maybe as it comes to the bottom I will add little bit more bluish color, so that we have some sense of depth. Okay, so to the same color we can add little bit of cobalt blue, and we can kind of make it look darker at the bottom. Maybe a little bit of blue and violet, and some more darkness, some sprinkling of water to create some interest. And now it is kind of dry, so I am splattering some lavender color here to create some texture, and let us take some thicker consistency olive green to suggest some tree here. It's just some random foliages, and that's it, nothing else, just some random foliages with varying tones. Okay, so we'll make some tonal variation. Maybe we will splatter some more lavender color, some darker color, etc., to make it look merged with the background, with the rest of the things. I didn't want any clear edges with the green color element, the tree and the background wall, etc. Everything should look like they are merged. There are no much contrast there, and I don't want them to grab too much of attention. That is the reason I treated it that way. Some splashes of lavender color to create some sort of texture there. Okay, I think we are pretty much done with the background. Now we have to get it fully dry, and then we can add the details. Okay, so I will wait for this to get dried. Okay, so maybe just lifting some colors here and there. I think we'll wait for this to get dried. Sorry, I lost a few minutes of video where I have colored the figures and some shadows on the wall as marked by the red arrow marks. Now let us continue from that point. So we are now kind of adding some figures. Okay, we are adding some figures. So whichever area was missing in this video, you know the colors that I have used. It is The figures used cobalt green color, some red color, some lavender color, etc. And the shadow color used for the top wall was burnt sienna and little bit of orange. Okay, now some more definition to the figure. This figure looks like a person riding a bicycle, so I just converted it in that way, slightly closer to us. And let us make some lower bodies for those figures. Okay, so these are just suggestive figures. While making these figures, we have to pay attention to the overall proportion of the body parts, okay, and the overall perspective as we have a group of people. Okay, right, now I think we are pretty much done with the main elements. Okay, so let us make some dark purple sort of a color and make more definition, add more definition to the car. The car is facing that side, that means going away from us, and we are finding the back of the car. Okay, so also let us make some sort of shadows. Okay, now this by itself I think is giving a good volume to the car, but I think we will diffuse some of this to make it little bit more interesting. So I don't want very sharp edges all across, so some edges I wanted to keep it as sharp, and some edges as soft. Maybe a little bit of shadow colors on the right side plane of the car, which is not very much visible though. And yeah, I think this car is pretty much done. And let us sort of add some skin tone to all these figures. The skin tone is suggested by thick orange color directly picked from the tube, and I am using a liner brush for this suggestion. These are very tiny kind of precision brushworks, so you have to be very careful when you make these kind of brushworks. It should be little precise, and you should be very careful. I think we are pretty much done with the skin tone for the figures, and let us now maybe convert this into sort of a traffic lamp, and maybe we will do something on the tail lamp. As a tail lamp, we will suggest some orange marks on the car. Okay, so it's again thick orange directly picked from the tube. I think that looks good. Okay, please do let me know if you are liking this video. If you are finding this video informative, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification so that you get notified for all my future videos. I plan to upload 2 or 3 videos per week as much as possible. Please do share this video to your artist friend who can take benefit of this video. Okay, right, now this is some highlights using white watercolor, again directly picked from the tube. See, these orange touches and white touches are thicker consistency paints and sort of an opaque treatment. So if you are not happy making opaque brushworks on a watercolor, you can skip this and you can use your own methods to get these kind of results. Okay, whatever results you want. I think for making these highlights, the paper should be actually very dry. I think that some of these areas are not yet very dry. The green color of shirt, the green cobalt green is not actually very dry. You can see that the white color is sort of spreading there. So you have to ensure that whenever you apply this white color, it should be dry. The paper should be dry. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. We can make 2 directional lines to enhance the depth and maybe some shadows for the figures. Okay, I think we'll treat it as done, and I will close it by adding my signature. Some of these figures didn't have a lower body, so I just added it. Some shadow for this also, yes. Yes, I think we can treat it as done, and I can sign it. Okay. So I hope you found this video informative. You had something to learn from this video. If it is so, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. And if you have any question, comment, suggestion, please do write them into the comment box below. And please don't forget to share this to your artist friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. Once again, keep practicing, keep painting, and keep learning, keep improving your skills. Thank you very much. See you soon with another interesting video.